And then we're just going to start laying on your back. So when you're ready, if you can come to the mat. And just lay on the back with the knees bent. And take the knees in towards each other, so the knees are pressing into each other, and walk the feet out to the edges of the mat, the sides of the mat. And then inhale the arms out to the side, so they're reaching in a T position. And then exhale, hand to opposite shoulder. So it's like you're giving yourself a hug. And allow the sacrum, the lower back to settle down. Press down towards the mat. And you can close the eyes. And as you inhale, draw the inhale down towards the feet. So it's like you're filling up the whole body, the torso, the belly, the legs, the feet. And then as you exhale, the breath is going to rise up through the body and leave through the chest. So as we move through the class today, you can just imagine that that's the flow, the direction of the breath. Inhale down and exhale up. And just watch the breath for a moment. Notice if it might be getting stuck somewhere. And inhale the arms out to the side in a T position again, and then exhale across the body again with the other arm on top. Hands to opposite shoulders. And in sleep, just like in yoga and meditation, the parasympathetic nervous system is activated. So that's the rest and digest. So the opposite of fight and flight. And during sleep, the heart rate slows down, the breaths slow down, and our blood pressure decreases, and the temperature in our body decreases as well. And it's also the time that the brain just clears out that clutter of information. So when we do yoga before bed, we're already activating the parasympathetic nervous system, and it really helps to prepare the brain and the body for sleep. And then inhale the arms alongside the body and draw the knees in towards the chest. And take the hands to the shins and just rock side to side a little bit, massaging the lower back. And again, inhale down through the body to the feet and exhale to the chest. And then reach the left leg long, draw the right knee into the chest. And let the back body settle down into the mat. Release the shoulders. Let the back of the skull press into the ground. And then exhale, switch the legs. So the left knee comes into the chest and reach the right leg long. And reach the heel away from you, the right heel. So really lengthen through that right leg. And feel which parts of the body are grounded. So which parts are touching the ground. And exhale, switch the legs again. Draw the knee into the chest, reach the leg long. And exhale, switch. And exhale, switch. And then take the left leg down to the mat. And take the right arm out to the side in a T position. Left hand to the outside of the right knee. And then exhale the right leg across the body. And look out over the right shoulder. And we're just going for a gentle twist here. So it's really early on in the class. Don't have to make any big movements. And direct the inhale down towards the feet. And the exhale back up and out through the chest. And release any tension in the jaw. And relax the tongue. Just move it away from the roof of the mouth. Relax the throat. And inhale, come back to center. And take the left knee into the chest and reach the right leg long. Take the left arm out to the side and the right hand to outside the left knee. And then exhale the left leg across the body. And this isn't any amount. So maybe the left leg goes all the way down to the mat. Maybe just moves a few inches. Whatever your body and your mind needs tonight. And again, just notice which parts of the body are touching the mat. And try to just release those body parts. Let them sink down into the mat. And inhale, come back to center. Bend the knees and take the feet to the mat again. And the feet and the knees are both at hip width apart. Take the arms out to the side in a T position. And then exhale, take the legs over towards the right. And look out over the left shoulder. And release any tension in the lower back. Hollow out the belly. And we're looking for nice, even inhales and exhales. So maybe you can count the inhale, maybe for the count of 4, and then count the exhale for the count of 4. And inhale, come back to center, and then exhale, the knees over to the left, and looking out over the right shoulder. And release any tension in the feet, in the hips. And inhale, come back to center. Lift the knees to 90 degrees and then take the arms through the legs and take the hands to the outside of the feet for happy baby. And reach up through the heels and the knees move down towards the armpits. And rock side to side. Even inhales and exhales. This is a lovely hip opener. Lengthens the groins and releases any tension in the lower back. And we'll be here for a few more rounds of breath. And release the feet. Roll over onto the left side and come to sit. So you can, if you have a block, you can sit on a block, otherwise on some cushions. And we're going to sit in Sukhasana with the right leg in front. So cross the legs with the right leg in front. And then just settle the sit bones into the block. Take the hands to the thighs, palms facing down. And wiggle the waist long. And we're going to do a few shoulder rolls here to release that tension, because most women hold our tension in our shoulders. So we're just going to release that. So we're going to start with some shoulder rolls back. So firm the shoulders into the back. Even inhales and exhales. And feel the connection between your hands, the palms of your hands, and your thighs. Okay, and then pause and change direction. Great. And press down through the tailbone and lift through the crown of the head. Good. Okay, and then pause. And then take the right hand to the left ear, and then really gently exhale the right ear towards the right shoulder. Good, and then take the left hand and just hang it down by the side. And feel the left side of the neck lengthening, releasing any tension in the neck and the upper back. And then take the left hand behind the lower back. Take the right hand just to the back left of the skull and exhale, chin towards the chest. These are really small movements, so just be gentle with the neck. Inhale down the body towards the feet and exhale back up through the body. And inhale, release, and just shake it out a little bit. Then take the hands to the thighs again, palms facing down. Take the left hand to the right ear and gently and slowly exhale the left ear towards the shoulder, left shoulder. And then let the right hand hang down, lengthening the right side of the neck a little bit more. And then take the right arm behind the lower back. Feels so good. And then take the left hand to the back right of the skull and exhale the chin towards the chest. So you're kind of doing a diagonal stretch here. And try to breathe into the neck area and the upper back. And release any of that tension, any of the gripping. And inhale, release the hands and just shake it out. Good. Okay, take the fingertips to the right side of you. Press down into the mat. And then inhale the left arm up and exhale it over to the right. And you can press down into that right hand. Reach across with the left fingers. So getting a nice stretch along the left side of the waist, but not collapsing into the right side. So we've still got length in the right side. Good. Reach a little bit more with the left fingers. And press down into the left sit bone. And inhale, come back to center. And then take the second block behind the right hip and press down into that right block. Inhale the left arm up. Reach, reach, reach. Get some nice length. And then exhale, left hand to right knee and turn to look behind the right shoulder. And again, these are just small movements, any amount of twisting. And inhale, come back to center. And take the left leg in front. Good, settle the sit bones down into the block. Belly button to spine. And then take the left fingertips to the mat. Inhale the right arm up. Press down into the left hand and reach over with the right fingers. Good. Press down into the right sit bone. And keep some length in the left side of the waist. And inhale down through the body. And exhale back up. And it's kind of counterintuitive to what we usually think. We usually think of inhaling and filling up to the top. But actually we're inhaling and filling down through the body. Reach with the right fingers a bit more. And inhale, come back to center. Good. Take the block by the left hip or a cushion. Press down into the left block. Into the block. And press down with both sit bones. Inhale the right arm. And exhale, right hand to left knee. And turn to look over the left shoulder. And again, we can try to count the inhale for 4, exhale for 4. Good, and then inhale, come back to center. Take the soles of the feet together and take the hands behind the hips. So pressing the feet together. You can put the hands on a block behind you if that helps because you're on a block. If you have 2 blocks. Tilt forward onto the front of the sit bones. Really press those feet into each other. Press down through the tailbone and lift through the crown of the head. And allow the knees to open out to the sides. And then inhale the left leg over to the right. And the left shin sits in the arch of the right foot. And there's about 10 inches between the 2 knees. So if you're sitting on a block, basically your right bum cheek is on the block and the left is just hanging off to the side. That just helps you to get the height and the length in the spine. And then take the block or the cushion to the outside of the right hip and inhale the left arm and exhale the left hand to the right knee and turn to look over the back shoulder for Virasana. And press down into the right sit bone and lift through the crown of the head. And relax the jaw. Release any tension in the shoulders. Even inhales and exhales. And inhale, come back to center. Bring the soles of the feet together. And take the hands to the ankles. And just rock the knees side to side. And if you're on a block, just be aware of falling off the sides. So belly button to spine, and it helps you just to balance a little bit better. Really open those knees. Get some good length in the groins. And inhale the right leg over to the left. So again, that right shin sits in the arch of the left foot, and the left bum cheek sits on the block. And then take the block to the left hip, outside the left hip. Inhale the right arm. Reach, get some nice length in both sides of the waist. And then exhale, right hand to left knee. Turn to look behind you. And inhale, lengthen the spine. And exhale, twist. Good. Inhale, come back to center. And cross the shins and roll onto all fours. Okay, so knees are at hip width. hands around underneath the shoulders. Spread the fingers, firm the shoulder blades. And we're going to do 5 cat-cows here. So as you inhale, arch the spine. And as you exhale, take the chin to the chest and round the spine. And you can do this on your own breath cycle. We'll be here for 5. And really think about the nice, even inhales and exhales. So you're going to spend about 5 seconds in each pose. Good, and then the next time you come back to center, just pause there. And we're going to keep the hips where they are and walk the hands forward. Take the forearms down to the mat and the forehead, and allow the chest to settle down and move down towards the mat for extended puppy. Thanks, great ladies. We'll be here for a couple more rounds of breath. And inhale, walk the hands back under the shoulders. And step the right foot forward. And bring the torso up over the pelvis. And then walk that right foot forward so the knee is just beyond 90 degrees. And exhale the right knee towards 90 degrees for crescent lunge. Good. And move the tailbone down towards the mat. So obviously it's not going to reach the mat, but just imagine it moving in that direction. And notice which parts of the body are touching the ground. Press down through all 4 corners of the right foot. Good, and inhale down towards the feet. And exhale back up the legs, the torso, and out through the chest. And inhale back to center. And then step the right knee back and step the left foot forward. And then again, walk that left foot so the knee is just beyond 90 degrees. And exhale the left knee towards 90 degrees. And you can have your hands on your hips, hands on your thigh, left thigh, whatever feels good. Allow that right hip flexor to extend and lengthen. And again, even inhale, even exhale. And inhale, come back to center, step the left foot back, and take the hands to the mat, tuck the toes, and reach the hips back for downward facing dog. And pedal out the feet here, bending each knee alternately. That's good. And Namita, just step your feet in a little bit closer towards your hands. Good. And reach the hips up towards the ceiling. Nice, Lucy. And continue to pedal out the feet. Good. Really ground each heel alternately. And firm the shoulder blades into the back. And you can pause here in child's pose if you need to. Otherwise, you can stay in down dog. And if you're in down dog, just stop pedaling the feet and ground both heels. Shift the weight back towards the hips. And you can always go between child's pose and down dog. We'll be here for about another minute. And whichever position you're in, take note of which parts of the body are touching the ground. And if you're in down dog, you can just bend the knees and bring the knees to the mat. In child's pose, just come back to kneel. And we're gonna move into Virasana or hero pose. So that's the W. Lay a cushion or a block underneath the hips. Good. And then move the inner thighs towards each other. And tilt forward onto the front of the sit bones. Belly button to spine and root down through the tailbone. Lift through the crown of the head. And again, notice which parts of the body are touching the ground, which parts of the feet, which parts of the shin. And then take the hands behind you, it can be on the fingertips, or you can have the fingers pointing towards you. And firm the shoulder blades. I'm just going to pause here. You can allow the head to hang behind you. Relax the neck. Release any tension in the jaw, in the throat. Hollow out the belly. Inhale, draw the inner thighs together and walk the hands back to hero pose, Virasana. Good, and then come to lay on your back with a few cushions or a block. And we're going to bend the knees, take the feet at hip width apart and the knees at hip width apart. And if you have cushions, probably about 3 cushions. If you have the block, use the block. Lift the hips and take the cushions or the block to underneath the sacrum. And just lower the hips onto the block of the cushions. And you can take the hands to the belly and just close the eyes for a moment. Let the hip flexors lengthen. Take a moment to watch the breath and notice if you give more emphasis to the inhale or the exhale. And inhale, lift the hips. Take the hips down towards the ground, and then take the knees together and walk the feet to the edges of the mat again for constructive rest. And inhale the arms out to the side. Exhale, hand to opposite shoulder. And we're just realigning the spine here after a few back bends. Inhale down towards the feet and exhale up towards the chest. Allow the back body to melt down into the mat. Release any tension in the shoulders. And inhale the arms out to the side. And exhale, hands to shoulders with the other arm on top. And notice where you might grip in this pose. And maybe you don't even notice you're gripping until you start to take notice. And oftentimes when we're tense or stressed, or when we're trying to fall asleep, we grip, we tense the jaw or grip in different areas. So this is a great exercise to just bring awareness to that. And inhale the arms out to the side. And exhale, roll over onto the right side. And come to sit. And then come to stand. And if you have blocks, you can take the block at its highest height and then another one at the medium height on top, or at its lowest height. And if you don't, you can just come towards, you can use the sofa. I'm going to be doing Prasarita Tanasana, so wide angle forward fold, and the forehead is going to go to either the block or to the sofa. Okay, so step the feet wide, about 3.5 feet, and press down through the heels, belly button to spine, and ground down through the tailbone and lengthen through the crown of the head. So you're lengthening the spine from two ends. And exhale, hinge forward from the hips. Keep pressing down into the heels. And you can bend the knees too if this is too intense. And then move the blocks to sort of right underneath the forehead or the sofa. And then take the hands to just underneath the shoulders. But we're not putting too much pressure into the hands, they're just there for balance. The strength of the pose is in the heels. And you can play around with the heights of the block. See which one works for you. And we're going to stay here for about 1.5 minutes. So again, you can bend the knees if this is too intense. Try to stay in the inversion where the head is below the heart. And this really ignites the parasympathetic nervous system. So if you ever are having trouble sleeping at night, you could just do a quick inversion. Not quick actually, it has to be at least a minute for it to to ignite, but it really helps to settle the body, settle the brain, and settle the nervous system. And again, just take note of where you might be gripping. Be here for about 5 more rounds of breath. And try to soften the face, relax the jaw, relax the forehead skin. And bend the knees, Take the hands to the hips and inhale, slowly come to stand. Bring your head up really slowly. Good, and just take a few breaths here. Good, and heel toe the feet together. So your feet are right underneath the hips. Good, all 10 toes are pointing forward. Press down through all 4 corners of both feet. Take the hands by your side, palms facing forward. And press down through the feet, lift through the crown of the head. Close the eyes for a second. And just reconnect with the body, with the breath. Feel the connection between the feet and the ground. This is a mountain pose, and it's a great way to reconnect with your body. Not just as we prepare for sleep, but if you have any stress throughout the day, if you need to reconnect with yourself, this is a great pose to just knock out. Okay, and open the eyes. Inhale the arms up. We're still going to be close to the sofa or the blocks. And exhale, swan dive forward into Uttanasana. And you might need a higher blocks here, or to be closer to the sofa. And press down through the heels. Lift through the sit bones. Feel the length in the backs of the legs. And again, we're activating the parasympathetic nervous system here. This is another inversion. It just helps the body to release the tension, calms the mind, and moves blood towards the brain, which is always a good thing, right? We'll be here for 5 more rounds of breath. Again, you can bend the knees if you'd like, but keep pressing down through the heels. Nice, even inhales and exhales. And bend the knees, take the hands to the hips, and again, slowly come to stand. Good, and take a couple of breaths here. Okay, move back down to the mat with a block or a cushion. And we're onto all fours. Inhale, slide the right knee towards the right hand. And the right foot comes under the left hip. And reach the back leg long for pigeon on the right. And then you can take the block or the cushion underneath the right hip. Good. And then we're going to exhale, fold forward onto the forearms. And then take the forehead down towards the mat. And you can also put the forehead on a block or a cushion. And settle into the forward fold. Release any tension in the right hip. And inhale and exhale. Relax the jaw. Relax the eyes and the eye sockets. Just try to settle the eyes down instead of darting left to right, which actually activates the fight or flight. Just allow them to settle. And inhale, press down into the hands and come back to all fours. And then exhale, slide the left knee to the left hand and the left foot under the right hip. And reach the right leg long behind you. And again, you can put the block or cushion under the left hip for support. And both hip points are pointing down. Nice. And then exhale, forearms to the mat. And you can take the forehead to the forearms, to a block, cushion, or all the way down to the mat. But any amount is good. There's no right or wrong or better or worse here. Just whatever works for your body tonight. Notice again where the gripping might be. And breathe easy. Even inhale, even exhale. And inhale, press down through the hands and come back to all fours. And come to sit on your bum, either close to a sofa, chair, or if you have two blocks, you can put those in front of you. So we're going to bring the feet together in Tanasana. And you can take the blocks to two lengths on top of each other, or like a T, whatever works for you. And you can either put them in front or you can balance them on your feet, depending on the flexibility. If you are not very flexible, you want them on your feet. Okay. And then press down through the tailbone, lift through the crown of the head. And then we're going to take the elbows to inside the calves and exhale, fold forward. Take the forehead towards that chair, sofa, or blocks. And just allow the forehead to settle down. And allow whatever is supporting you to just support the forehead, support the spine, release any of the gripping. Release tension in the shoulders. So inhale for 4 and exhale for 4. Allow the groins, the inner thighs to lengthen and the knees to open out to the side. 3 more rounds of breath here. And inhale, lift the forehead a little, and then slowly lengthen the spine and bring the head up. Good, and just move the blocks out of the way. I'll move away from the sofa and lengthen the legs out in front for Dandasana. Good. Reach through the heels. Press down into the calves and the hamstrings. So you're imprinting the backs of the legs onto the mat. And roll forward onto the front of the sit bones. So it feels like you're kind of sticking your bum out behind you. And if you just grab that strap, hopefully you have it close by. Okay, inhale, press down through the tailbone and lift through the crown of the head. And then you can take the strap around the arches of the feet. And this is not going to be like you pulling yourself forward with the strap. It's really just there for balance and to help you move into the pose a little bit more, but not in an aggressive way. Okay, so inhale, lengthen the spine, and exhale, fold forward from the hips. So you're reaching forward with a long spine, chest is lifted, and then exhale, slowly round the spine. Take the nose towards the knees. And keep lengthening the heels away from you. Press down into the tailbone. And move the nose a bit more towards the knees. And we're rounding the whole of the spine. So the neck, the upper back, the middle back where the bra line is, and the lower back. So keep adjusting as much as you need to. And then in a few more breaths, we're just going to settle down into this pose and stop adjusting. And just accept the pose as it is. Okay. And inhale. Start to walk the hands back up the legs. Sorry. And inhale, lengthen the spine. And then cross the shins and roll over onto your feet. We're going to keep low down. And step the feet so they're about under the knees. And you can take a block or a few cushions and just take the block underneath the hips. I'm going to keep it nice and easy. So press down through all four corners of the feet. And exhale, start to fold forward. Good, rounding the spine. Relax the back of the neck. Release any tension. And just let the arms hang in between the knees. Good, relax the back of the neck. And inhale, start to lengthen the spine, lift the head, and come over onto the knees. Sorry. Okay, just take the knees to the edges of the mat, feet together. And if you have a couple of blocks, you can take them there, or cushions. If you have blocks and a cushion, that's great. And we're going to exhale, fold forward over the cushions or the blocks into child's pose. And you can take the right side of the face down towards the mat or the cushions. Allow the hips to settle down towards the heels. And know that the The cushions or the blocks can totally support your torso. So release any of that tension that's holding the torso up. And inhale towards the feet. Exhale up towards the chest. And inhale, lift the head and turn it to the other side so the left cheek is pressing into the mat. And direct the breath towards the lower back area, the kidneys. And release any tension across the kidney band. And inhale, come back to the hands. And come to lay on your back with the knees bent and a block or some cushions. And bend the knees. Feet and knees are hip width apart. And again, we're going to lift the hips, take the block or the cushions under the sacrum, and allow the sacrum to settle into the block. Slow the breathing down. Be intentional with the inhale and the exhale. And inhale, lift the hips. Remove the block and take the hips back down. And draw the knees in towards the chest. Release the shoulders. And allow the back body to settle down into the mat as you draw the knees in towards the chest. And take the feet down, arms out to the side in the T position. And with the feet on the floor, exhale the knees over to the right and look out over the left shoulder. And inhale, come back to center. Exhale over to the left. Look out over the right shoulder. And inhale, come back to center. Take the knees together and again walk the feet out to the edges of the mat. And this time take the hands to the belly. And we're neutralizing the spine. Just allowing the sacrum to move back after a lot of forward bends. We're realigning the spine. And feel the belly rise and fall with the inhale and the exhale. And exhale, roll over onto the right side and come to sit. And we're going to move over towards a wall. We're going to do the legs up the wall. So you can bring a block or a couple of cushions with you. And you just need enough space up the wall so that you can reach the legs up, basically. So it can be a door or a wall. And you're going to sit so that the sitting sideways to the wall, so the left shoulder and left hip is touching the wall. And then exhale, take the torso down to the mat and swivel the legs up the wall. And then you can just scooch the hips in towards the wall if you need to. And lift the hips, take the block or the cushions underneath the sacrum so that we can create the natural curves of the spine. And reach the legs back up the wall. Take the hands to the belly. And close the eyes. And just take a couple of big sighs. It's a really nice way to reset the nervous system and to kick in the parasympathetic nervous system. And let's observe the body. Maybe you can notice the feet tingling. The blood is moving from the feet down the legs towards the heart. This is another inversion. The head is slightly lower than the heart. And notice the breath. Might be slightly different in this pose. But again, notice if you prioritize the inhale or the exhale. And for a couple of minutes, we're going to inhale for the count of 5 and exhale for the count of 5. So I can count you through the first one, and then you can continue on your own breath cycle. So inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'll let you know when 2 minutes is up. About halfway. Okay, and bring your attention back to the room. Turn to regular breathing. Wiggle the toes. And just take note of the body. Take note of the breath and the nervous system. Whether you feel more fight or flight right now, or rest and digest. Okay, walk the feet down the wall. And lift the hips, take the block away. And roll over onto the right side. Just stay here for a moment. Use your right arm as a pillow for the neck. And this just presses into the right armpit, which actually sends a signal to the brain to relax and release stress and anxiety. And press down into the left hand. And inhale, slowly come to sit. In any comfortable seated position. And bring your hands together at heart center. And close the eyes. Thank you for joining me tonight, ladies. I hope that we all sleep well tonight. Namaste.